What's up, team? Wait. Hold up, guys. I gotta take this. Hello? PvP? PvE? Everything you want to know? The mark damage? Yeah, I got you covered. Alright, it's time for the video, okay? I gotta hang up. There's people watching. Alright, I'll talk to you later. Alright. Jeez. What's up, team? It's Zeals. How you guys doing? It is Friday. Ooh, my finger's just jittering. You know, we've been waiting a long time for this. Ever since they announced Asmodel's change and, you know, they've touched up now Ormus. The recent Starlight and Bade, I mean, yeah, it was interesting. I mean, it got the hype train rolling. It got us through some of these events that were kind of, you know, mundane and a little boring. Finally, guys, Asmodel, he has needed a rework ever since the E3 meta update. We finally got it, team. All right, I'll see you guys in the game. Woo! Oh my goodness, these overlays and transitions. Look at that overlay, guys. We have the Asmodel change, as you already know, as well as a campaign loot event, and we got the gem box event. All right, I'm gonna talk about all the rewards as well as Asmodel in detail. I'm gonna try to fit it in a timely fashion. So let's start with Asmodel. So his basic stats, of course, got bumped up. His attack as a warrior is pretty good. His speed has been reworked. He's a lot faster. We're going to talk about the last passive first, the third passive. So when he takes damage, right? I'm not talking about pet damage. I'm talking about when an opponent hits him. Not like a dot damage or things like that, like direct damage. We're talking about direct basic or attack damage from your opponents. Whenever he takes damage, right? He puts a crit mark on your opponents for 180% of his attack damage, and he increases his damage reduction by 25%, which lasts for one round only, just like Bade. And this also stacks. Okay, so in a round he can get up to 3 stacks and things like that, for example. But remember, just like Bade or any other hero in this game, there is a damage reduction cap. There's no such thing as 100% damage reduction. The cap, once again, is 75%. Before I go any further, I want to explain about this crit mark. As you can see, it's tied to his basic attack and his him taking damage in his last passive, as well as his active damage. So the crit mark is a big part of Asmodel's toolkit. So what is it? Basically, it is a portion of his attack, a percent of his attack, and it is a mark, a debuff that goes on your opponents, whether it is through the basic attack that Asmodel does, or is active, or by him taking damage, which applies it to all enemy opponents. We'll talk about that shortly, but let's just talk about the crit mark. So crit mark, it is applied and it does go away after it is triggered. So what triggers it? Any crit damage. Basically, let's say Asmodel put a mark with this basic attack, and the next hero, let's say it was Scary, and Scary landed a crit, then it would explode the crit mark. All right, that's pretty basic explanation of how crit mark works. It is applied through his basic, active, as well as him taking damage, and it is removed once any of your allies lands a crit hit. Okay, pretty simple, right? But let's say, for example, your allies are not landing a crit for some reason. I know it's hypothetical, but let's say like 3 of your heroes didn't land a crit, so basically it can stack. All right, so another simple thing I want to tell you guys is that the crit mark does stack. For example, the 250% of attack damage can stack with this last pass of 180%, so it's additional. And of course, his active damage, the 300%, they could all stack. Okay, but it's realistically, it's not going to stack too high because it's always getting triggered. All right, the next question was crit mark, right? When it's detonated, who gets the credit for the damage at the end of the fight? At the end of the fight, Asmodel will take the credit for the crit mark. However, in combat, the damage will be shown through the hero that has made that crit. So that hero's damage will also have the crit mark also tied into it. So it looks a little bit more beefier. But at the end of the game, or at the end of the round, Asmodel is credited. At the after combat report, Asmodel is the one that will be rewarded with the damage done. I mean, really, it doesn't really matter as long as your opponents die anyways. And the next thing I want to talk about is, do these crit marks stack with other Asmodels? And the answer is yes, it does. But because it doesn't really grow like Scary's mark, right? Scary's mark, it keeps growing and growing. It doesn't go away. It lasts pretty much forever or 15 rounds, right? But Asmodel, it does explode upon crit. So even if you had multiple Asmodels, yeah, you're gonna be doing a lot of burst damage, but it's not gonna make each Asmodel do more damage like Scary would. If you brought 2 Scaries, it would, you know, kind of help each other do more damage, like, you know, just bring out the power out of Scary. But Asmodel with another Asmodel, it's just like bringing 2 horses. It's not going to really make the other horse do more damage. With that out the way, this is like the pro stuff. This is like the really nitty-gritty detail stuff. So the crit mark does not crit. X, all right, it does not crit, and of course, because it doesn't crit damage is wasted upon because it doesn't crit. So I know crit mark, it sounds like it's supposed to crit and things like that, but no, it doesn't crit. Okay, so what affects it? Armor reduce, armor break, holy damage, as well as attack, of course, yada yada yada, right? So crit damage is out of the equation. So what does this mean, Zeals? So hypothetical situation, the best stone, okay, the best stone that I'll show you guys in the next video. I'll be doing Broken Space against the last wave. I have clips ready. I have done over 60 fights, guys. 60 fights and 200 million gold spent. I'm so sorry, Zuka, but thank you for letting us test on your account as well as other people as well. Thank you so much for letting me test today on such short notice. But Zuka, really shout out to you because I spent 200 million gold. Don't kill me. I love you. Anyways, guys, in a prolonged, sustained situation, guys, his best stone is going to be attack stone as well as an attack artifact, Antler's Cane being one of them that I really saw great results with. Of course, you can see success with Kiss of Ghosts. You can see success with even Crit Stone and with Staff Punisher of Immortal if you're trying to go for a short burst team like a GVE set up to be. And we'll talk more about my initial impression of Asmodel in a minute. Guys, the biggest thing to take note here is that the crit mark, it doesn't crit. Crit damage doesn't affect it. But holy damage, of course, attack, armor reduce, Heart Watchers debuff, and all of that stuff does work. Cruise as well. Okay, and one more important thing. When you look at his active, when he does that 225% of attack damage against 4 random enemies, tags them with the crit mark to them. But if Asmodel does crit, it does explode it with this active. And if your comp is designed around burst, right? Let's say you design your Asmodel to go before your let's say Aspen, and Asmodel is the guy that's supposed to chunk them down, and then Aspen sweeps with the execute, right? Because they're under 35% or close to it, and then you have Mim set up to just sweep the floor, you know, like a broom. Yeah, you want him to kind of have a little bit more crit than just using a pure attack build. Like I said, the pure attack build is gonna be for more of a sustained PvE kind of situation. Of course, depending on your opponents and your lineup, your Asmodel stone will be very different. But like I'm saying, for raw damage done over 15 rounds, attack is going to be the best. In terms of pure DPS or damage per round, that can vary from anywhere from a crit stone with a crit artifact to an attack stone. I don't know, because it really varies upon every fight that I did. But yeah, I mean, such small little changes, like choosing a Belrain instead of Michelle, or using a Faith Blade instead of Michelle or Belrain. Things like that just totally change the outcome of Asmodel doing like 1 million or 3 million damage to anywhere from like 20 million damage. So it really depends on your opponents once again, but I'm just telling you guys, in terms of raw 15 round damage, it's gonna be attack stone. And I'll showcase this mañana. I just can't make a 40-minute video on Asmodel's just PvE and PvP alone. All right, so let's talk about other goody stuff that Asmodel has, right? So when he does active attack, he does gain 40% attack for 3 rounds. It does stack. It's beautiful. It does stack. In PvE, you'll see like 2 stacks. If you have Belrain, it will also get another attack buff. You'll see it tomorrow. I'll show you guys the icon tomorrow. And for look at his first passive. It's just overloaded. 5 different stats. There's control immunity. There is crit. Oh, so nice. Holy damage and, you know, HP and attack. Multipliers. Great stuff. And yeah, let's go back to his basic attack. Only hits the front 2 targets. Teams that put like their safe units in slot 2, the Asmodel is going to be pretty much penalizing them. Not much, but yeah, it's still something, right? And it's going to give them with a crit mark to them, which will trigger, right, by anybody, including even Asmodel, doing a crit damage. Okay, so once again, when Asmodel does a crit in that round, when it is applied, he can just detonate it at the same time. It just computes just like that. And he also gains 40% crit damage for 3 rounds, and this also stacks. So once again, the damage reduction stacks for 1 round, the crit damage stacks for 3 rounds. So you're gonna see maybe two stacks, and the 40% attack also stacks for 3 rounds, so you're gonna see maybe 2 stacks. So 2 stacks of this, 2 stacks of that. You could see, you know, at least 3 stacks of this. But once again, this has a cap. And yeah, I do feel I gotta test this a little bit more, but I do feel that Asmodel kind of has a guys, I just had a follow there, but I do feel that there may be a crit damage cap. I have to test this a little bit more, and I gotta have a meeting with my scientists and wizards, so just, you know, give me a little second here. It's only been like 4 hours since I got a hold of Asmodel. I've been working all day, you know the deal, staying up on Friday night. I was supposed to go drink with the co-worker, and there were a couple chicks, but yeah, I'm here, guys. If you wanna, you know, give me a thumbs up or anything, or subscribe, because, you know, I'm staying home. Make sure you do that. All right, so I think you guys fully understand how Asmodel works now. I think I've explained it better than... All right, team, so let's get out of here. Let's talk about some PvP. Bam. Ooh, all right, I'm on to the right side. So in terms of PvP, I've tested only GVE so far. I haven't touched Rainbow yet. I haven't touched Redemption yet, but, you know, I'm going to make a poll on my YouTube community page. I'm always updating that, so make sure you check that out. Make sure you check out the poll and what's going on there. I'm thinking about making an Asmodel myself. It's gonna be a hard, far stretch, and if you want me to do it and try to test it in my server meta, and because I do have an ADA and Suka, he does not have an ADA, it may change things a little bit, but if you want me to make it, I'll make a poll tomorrow sometime, and you can participate there. We'll see what happens, guys. But in terms of my initial impression from PvP, if you build a team around Asmodel correctly, like I said about like Aspen going after Asmodel and Mim to clean up, or even a Redemption or Rainbow to go a little bit more sustained, then Asmodel is gonna just tear the skies. Yeah, he's gonna do so much damage. Even if he's sitting in CC, as long as he's getting hit and staying alive, he's gonna do a lot of damage, as you're seeing. You know, he's just sitting under CC or shut down, and he's still able to do 3 to 7 million damage. Of course, if the fights are shorter, like round 1 decided, he's not gonna do that much. But right now, Asmodel, yeah, he's just doing a lot of damage actively. Of course, like you guys are seeing just one active fights where Asmodel just does, like, I mean, it's not his active that does 22 million or 20 million, but it's just like just one active, like 1, 2, 3 round fights, and he's doing like 20 million. Like, that's just amazing. It's so cool. But he of course has weaknesses as well. He is a light hero, so he's going to be prone to the Dark Lords in the Dark faction, like Omnivore as well as Mimir and Aspen. But because Asmodel does have the last passive, if he's able to ramp up that damage reduction, he's going to stay alive until he can do an active. There's 2 possible solutions in round 2, guys. So it's either he is in a CC, so he's gonna just be doing passive damage like Valkyrie with his last passive, or he'll hopefully live because of the last passive with the damage reduction into doing 1 active in round 2. Of course, the better situation is if he is able to do that active, but then he just has to not be CC'd. So there's there's so many choices for artifacts that you could use. I used the Staff Punisher of Mortal. I used Magic Stone Sword. I'm losing, like, Sword of Justice, the one with the crit, holy damage, and attack. I used a bunch of stuff. I used Antler's Cane and things like that. But as long as I can, and of course I used Lucky Candy Bar, but as long as Asmodel is able to live until round 2 and do his active, whatever makes him do that, if you're building like a short tempo team like a GVE, as long as Asmodel is in the clear and he can do his active, he's gonna be really strong. And if Asmodel as well as Aspen can get an active off in round 2, you're looking really, really good right now. But what the developers are probably going to do, if hopefully they don't watch my stuff anymore, they keep reading my stuff, changing the spoilers and stuff like that last minute, man, in their group chat and stuff, changing the crews to freaking Sigmund. Anyways, hopefully they don't watch this, but if they do put Lucky Candy Bar in the game, and we don't know when that's gonna be, but if they do, wow, I mean, putting it on Asmodel and oh man, it's just gonna be dirty, guys. That artifact is one artifact I will just buy out first day. Unless it's like $700 or something. I haven't even got the Aspen skin. I'm kind of itching inside. I'm like, geez, I really want that now, because Asmodel and Aspen team synergy looks really cool, and they're like, you know, warrior brothers and things like that. But yeah, I didn't get it. So team, in terms of PvP, I'm going to rate Asmodel right now like B+. A-. It really depends how you build it, right? If you, yeah, man, there's people who know how to build it. There are people who just, hopefully after watching this video, they have better knowledge and build it correctly, and we'll have some more Asmodels in the meta. Asmodel is a great hero. He is definitely a lot better than he was. He was like literally trailing a little bit behind even Gurki, because Gurki had at least utility giving holy damage to his teammates, and that lasted infinitely, like 15 rounds in PvE. But Asmodel, wow, he is a lot better. And in PvE, guys, I'm gonna give you just a spoiler alert, but he, even in a non-optimized team, I was able to reach at least 400 million. I'll show you guys what stone and what artifact I used, and then what I compared it with, what other stones I've used, and what was the best, most consistent results. I'll tell you guys that in the next video, in a PvE dedicated or broken space dedicated video. I don't think Aspen Dungeon will open before then, but if I can, I may see Asmodel in the opponent's side, but if I do see that, I'll record that as well. But in terms of PvE, I saw him do at least 400 million myself in a non-optimized team. I didn't even have one of the debuffers that I really wanted to see, but yeah, he's doing at least equivalent to Horus in terms of broken space damage. So I would tie Horus with Asmodel together for now, but I think Asmodel can surpass Horus as well. So let's go into other stuff as well. We have, this is not my account, this is Jason's account, and he's back actually. I'm really glad he's back. So there's this skin fusion. Yeah, get that skin fused. So you put 5 random regular skins that you have, you know, allocated here, and you basically hit forge, and it will give you a random exclusive skin. And of course, some of them are not in there, like the Aspen skin. That's why I should have bought it. But anyways, I've been spent for 6 weeks, and I'm really proud of myself. If you're hanging in there as well, kudos to you. But yeah, these are the skins that you can get. It's not complicated, it's RNG. And once again, there is going to be this legendary skin, but it's not really legendary. So it looks like Jason got the legendary Ada skin. I think I kind of rushed it. So it does have more stats, but it looks exactly the same. I personally will not get an Ada legendary skin, because we're talking about 1% control immunity and sacrificing 5 exclusive. You have to sacrifice 5 exclusive skins. Now, there are cases where having duplicate exclusive skins is a lot better than having 1 legendary skin, especially in PvE. For example, if you're using 2, 3, even 4 scaries that I saw yesterday or last week, then you want to have exclusive skins on all of those and having 1. Of course, if you have 1 legendary exclusive scary skin and 3 exclusive scary skins, that's great too. And I'm not that kind of a, you know, megalodon, so I don't know. But anyways, guys, my personal decision is, let me give you a prime example of me and my experience with the skins. Do you guys remember? Let me show you guys. Because Jason is starting to rebuild his Valentino. So he does have this skin, right? He does have the video. Remember the spelling error on this one? Video. Anyways, video. I prefer the video. Anyways, but video game store. Remember when this skin came out? It was. I loved it. Let me use it right now. I loved this skin. I love this pixelated stuff, and it was on the shop for $99.99, and I bought it out. Like, I was so into the game back then. in terms of spending, guys. I had no filters. I just spent, and yeah, Valentino skin was so amazing. And basically, I don't use Valentino on my main account. I know Valentino is great, but what I'm trying to get at, I know that was pretty much a bad example, but what I'm trying to get at is that some heroes, they do fall off the meta, and that skin that I bought for $99, I'm not using it right now because I'm running GVE. Valentino is sitting in the back line right now. I'm not using him for PvE as well. I'm not using him anywhere, so maybe for Brave Trials. So, right, so the skin kind of losing value right now, but let's say he got a legendary skin for Valentino. Let's see what the difference is. All right, we got some 3-2-3. We're gonna go from 3-2-3 to a 6-3-4, guys. Come on, that's such a small difference. Okay, like such a small difference. Of course, going from a no skin to a legendary skin is huge, but going from exclusive to legendary doesn't feel that legendary. I mean, the artwork is not there as well. Hopefully, DH Games to kind of work on legendary skins. I don't think they're gonna allocate resources into redoing old skins, but I think they're definitely gonna put effort and time into making new legendary skins look a lot better because of the chain cash money, baby. Make it rain. Of course. And people like me, we're suckers for skins anyways. Yeah, so in terms of the exclusive to legendary skins, guys, if you're a free-to-play monthly card player, I highly advise just upgrading heroes that have longevity. Let's say, for example, the PvE meta. We already know that Scary is the king. He has been the king for a long time. Maybe he still will be the king unless they nerf the crap out of his mark system. Man, what's with all these mark systems anyways? But Balance Mark, Rescue Mark, Crit Mark. Anyways, guys, so if they don't touch Scary's mark system, then his legendary skin is going to be worth it. For PvE heroes, that legendary skin can go a lot longer than some of these PvP heroes. For now, as for me, I'm going to open the exclusive skins, but I don't think I'm going to be fusing any legendary skins. Maybe down the road, if we can actually get legendary skins that look legendary, like completely different artwork, and you can kind of fuse into that, I'll hold on to that for now. And I also said that having multiple exclusive skins can help you out. Like, let's say you're using 2 Omnivores or 2 Faith Blades, then yeah, I mean, that will be a lot better than just 1 legendary skin, unless you're using only 1 Faith Blade. All right, that's my opinion on that. If you want to go ahead and make a legendary skin, YOLO, it's for fun anyway, it's just a game, you do you. But for me, I'm just trying to optimize. I'm gonna open my skins later on. I have skins shards that I've saved. Let's go right into the campaign reward. So Horus is going to be there for 2,700. You kind of have to spend a little bit to get Horus. I don't know if you can get there as totally free to play. I think the average is going to be about 2,400 to 2,500. I usually average around 2,450-ish, something like that. Horus is going to be, of course, very good for PvE as well as PvP. He's going to be the top shadow hero no matter the base. Reworked, Horus is going to be the best in terms of the PvP rainbow aura, as well as in multi-targeted PvE fights like the Broken Space. Horus will reign supreme in the shadow faction, and he also has that beautiful bleed. Let me go back into it. Let me go back into Horus. He does have that bleed, and bleed is important, the wolf pet. So if you have a consistent bleed, then your overall team is going to do more damage. And that's what I was talking about with Asmodel's optimal team. I didn't have a bleeder and he was still doing over 400 million. So Horus will have that niche as well. So if you can get him, if you can pay a little bit, get some of these little clovers, you know, maybe hopefully you could get it for like the, what is this? The 20, is it the 25 bucks? Anyways, yeah, I mean, if you can spend a little bit here, that's great. In terms of the Augustus Magic Ball, I can't believe the artifact is going to be talked about almost last. Augustus Magic Ball is serving a purpose for 2 heroes right now, only 1 for the endgame meta hero, which is going to be Horus in terms of his slot 1 block position. Augustus Magic Ball is going to be one of your best go-to, of course, with an attack stone. So you can not use an Augustus Magic Ball and use another artifact, and you could use an HP and block stone, but in terms of mathematical, just raw pure damage, Augustus, of course, with attack stone is a lot better setup. And in terms of PvE, like I showed you guys in the previous video, right? Magic Ball is not superior to Antler's Cane for Horus that is using an attack stone, as proven in the last video. Make sure you check out, click the the card above to check that out as well. So Augustus Magic Ball also serves a purpose on Sia in slot 1, but Sia is not really used in the end game meta. She can be used in the transition meta, because like I talked about, Sia, I mean, in the end game meta, she just hits only one target at a time every couple rounds. It's just way too slow, and the attack reduce against one hero is just not enough when there are so many big threats going on. All right, so Aspen, of course, he's great for PvP and PvE. I still believe that he belongs in the god tier. He has such great synergy with the light and dark heroes, as well as the rainbow heroes as well. And yeah, Aspen, of course, he will be a spend to get. If I had to choose between a Augustus and Aspen, of course, I'll get Aspen. Now, if it's your first Augustus, because how this is kind of a reoccurring thing, it's like a different event exclusive artifact every month. You could kind of wait for Augustus right now. You don't really need Augustus in current meta, but we don't know. Maybe next week or the week after there's a new hero that needs this Speedstone. We don't know. But for now, in this week, if I had to choose, of course, it would be Aspen. Now, let's go into the gem. Okay, so Jason, he's bought everything, good boy, except Sigmund, because he can E3 Sigmund. He has enough copies. In terms of the last prize, it's a gamble, guys. I'm really tight on gems. I don't know if I'll do it. Maybe just for the, the lulz and for the RNG, I'll do it. I don't know. Maybe you guys tell me in the comment section below to man up. In terms of Sigmund, of course, Sigmund is a great PvE hero in terms of Pray for Fire if you're E3ing him, and especially for the guild bosses from wave 1 through especially into the mid 40s. Sigmund will just do so much damage for you as long as he is alive. But in terms of the end game, I'm talking like end game PvE, you don't need a Sigmund. He does, a couple hundred millions in the broken space, but there are heroes that do couple billions. Okay, we're talking about like the other day there was a screenshot of someone using 4 scaries E3. They were doing 1.6 billion, 1.9 billion each. All right, the cumulative damage was around upper 4 billion. So yeah, in terms of that, Sigmund just can't compete. But in terms of the transitional and early into the mid to late, before you transition into multi-scaries or multi-disgustingly good PvE heroes, then Sigmund till then will serve you well. In terms of PvP, he gets shut down too easily because he has no crowd control immunity and stuff like that, and he can, when he's shut down in CC, he loses his whole tempo because he needs to keep doing his counterattacks, basic attacks, and his active attacks to keep shredding armor. All right, that British or Aussie accent. Anyways, I talk about these boxes all the time, but if you're new to my channel, then of course this is gonna be the best in terms of worth. The heroic scrolls, 100 gem each with the promotion stones. For Megalodons, this is gonna be always an issue, promotion stones. All right, so that's an auto grab. In terms of if you have gem issues, right, like me, I usually just opt out for this. I don't get it. I always get the profit orbs, and if you saw my 80 profit orbs per month guide, this is one of the way. This is your 10% right there for 2,400 gems. It's a steal, and you get 2 armor pieces. Of course, if you can complete the set, it will help you out in terms of the blacksmith event as well. I think I covered everything, guys. I think I covered it all. Anyways, if you found this video helpful in any way, or if it was any way entertaining, at least for you, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. I know you guys have been smashing that a lot recently, and I thank you so much, guys. Bam, I'm back. All right, so make sure you thumbs up, sub up, and share it up with all your friends and islets. Make sure you follow me on Twitch and join me on Discord. I'll be streaming a lot this weekend, hopefully, and there'll be more videos about Asmodel and more specifics in PvP, more specifics in PvE. I do want to spend more time making some more Idle Heroes video now that I got a new camera setup, and Asmodel right now is giving me the hype, the juice, the OJ to keep going. I'll see you guys very shortly. Peace.